There are moments in life when we feel alone, unheard, and forgotten. We pray, we cry, and we wait for answers, but sometimes it seems like nothing changes. In these moments, doubts creep into our hearts, and we begin to wonder if God is really listening. But the truth is, God always listens, even when we don't see immediate results, even when the silence feels overwhelming. God is not distant or unaware of our struggles. He is closer than we can imagine, watching over us with love and care. Every word we speak, every tear we shed, and every silent prayer in our hearts is known to Him. The problem is not that God is not listening. Rather, it is that we often expect immediate answers, forgetting that His ways are beyond our understanding. When we pray, we sometimes want instant solutions. If we are in trouble, we want it to be fixed immediately. If we are sick, we want instant healing. If we are struggling, we want relief right away. But God, in His infinite wisdom, knows what is best for us and when to give it. Just because we do not receive an answer at the moment does not mean our prayers have gone unheard. Every prayer is stored, every request is noted, and every need is taken into account. Think about a child asking their parents for something they deeply desire. A loving parent listens but does not always give the child exactly what they want at that moment. Sometimes they wait until the right time. Sometimes they give something even better than what was asked for. Other times they withhold something because they know it is not good for the child in the long run. In the same way, God listens, but He answers in His perfect way. Many great people in history faced long periods of waiting before their prayers were answered. Prophet Ayub, Job, suffered for years, but remained patient because he knew God was listening. Prophet Yusuf, Joseph, was imprisoned unjustly, but he did not lose faith. He trusted that God heard his prayers, and in time he was not only freed, but elevated to a position of honor. These stories remind us that God's delay is not a denial, it is a preparation for something greater. There are also times when we feel that God is silent. We keep praying, but we do not see a response. This does not mean He is ignoring us. Rather, He may be testing our faith, strengthening our patience, or preparing us for something beyond our imagination. Silence does not mean absence. Just like a teacher remains quiet during an exam, God sometimes stays silent while we go through trials, but He is always present, watching, and listening. God also listens in ways we may not recognize. Sometimes the answer to our prayer comes in the form of a changed heart, a new opportunity, or unexpected strength to face our struggles. He may send people into our lives to help us, open doors we never thought possible, or even close doors to protect us from harm. We must learn to trust Him, even when things do not go as planned. One of the most important things to remember is that prayer is not just about asking, it is also about trusting. When we pray, we should not only expect answers, but also believe that whatever God decides is for our ultimate good. We may not always get what we want, but we will always receive what we need. So no matter what you are going through today, remember this: God always listens. He hears you in your joys, in your sorrows, in your fears, and in your hopes. Even when it feels like no one else understands, God does. Even when the world turns away, He remains by your side. Keep praying, keep believing, and keep trusting, because He is listening. And in His perfect time, your answer will come. There are moments in life when we feel impatient, wondering why things are not happening as we want them to. We set our goals, make our plans, and pray for success, but sometimes things don't go as expected. Delays, disappointments, and setbacks make us question whether our prayers are even being heard. However, what we often forget is that God's timing is always perfect. He never makes a mistake, and He never acts too early or too late. We live in a world where we want everything to happen instantly. Whether it is success, healing, or solutions to our problems, we expect immediate results. But God does not work according to our timetable. His plans are higher than ours, and He sees the full picture when we only see a small part. What we think is a delay is actually divine timing, preparing us for something greater. One of the biggest challenges we face is waiting. Waiting can feel frustrating and discouraging, but it is often in these moments that God is working the most. When things seem slow, He is shaping us, teaching us patience and strengthening our faith. Every delay has a purpose, and every waiting period is an opportunity for growth. Think of a seed planted in the ground. A farmer does not expect it to grow into a tree overnight. It takes time, the right amount of sunlight, water, and care before it finally bears fruit. If the farmer digs it up too soon, it will never reach its full potential. Similarly, God allows things to unfold in our lives at the right time, ensuring that we are ready to receive His blessings. Many times in history, we see examples of how God's timing was perfect, even when it did not seem that way at first. Prophet Yusuf was sold into slavery and thrown into prison for years before he became a ruler in Egypt. If he had been freed earlier, he might not have been in the right position to save thousands of people from famine. His years of waiting were not a punishment, but preparation for something greater. Another example is Prophet Musa, Moses. He wanted to free his people from Pharaoh's oppression, but it did not happen immediately. He had to go through trials, learn patience, and develop leadership skills before God's perfect timing brought deliverance. If the Israelites had been freed earlier, they might not have been strong enough to survive in the wilderness. God's timing is not just perfect in history, but in our personal lives as well. Sometimes we pray for something and feel heartbroken when it doesn't happen. But later we realize that if we had received it earlier, we would not have been ready to handle it. Maybe that job we wanted would not have been good for us. Maybe that person we wanted in our life was not meant to stay. Maybe the failure we faced was actually protecting us from a bigger disaster. When we trust in God's timing, we find peace. Instead of worrying about when things will happen, we can focus on preparing ourselves for what is to come. Just like a student who studies before exams, we must use the waiting time wisely, growing in faith, developing patience, and trusting that the right opportunity will come at the right time. No matter how long it takes, God is never late. He is always on time, bringing blessings into our lives exactly when we need them. Even when things seem slow, even when prayers feel unanswered, we must remember that His delays are not denials. He is working behind the scenes, arranging things perfectly. So whenever you feel discouraged about waiting, remind yourself that God is never in a hurry, but He is never late either. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep moving forward. At the right moment, everything will fall into place, and you will realize that His timing was always perfect. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and moments when we feel lost. In those times, we have two choices: to hold on to faith or to let doubt take over. Faith gives us hope, strength, and the courage to keep moving forward, while doubt fills us with fear, worry, and hesitation. The difference between success and failure, peace and anxiety, lies in whether we choose faith over doubt. Faith is believing in what we cannot see. It is trusting that even when things are not going as planned, there is a greater purpose behind it. It means knowing that God is in control, even when life seems chaotic. Doubt, on the other hand, makes us question everything. It makes us wonder if things will ever get better, if our prayers are being heard, or if we are even on the right path. Every great achievement in life begins with faith. Imagine if great leaders, inventors, or successful people gave up the moment they faced difficulties. They kept going because they had faith in their abilities, in their dreams, and in the possibility of success. If we look at history, we see that those who achieved greatness faced countless struggles, but their faith was stronger than their doubts. Even in religious history, we see the power of faith. Prophet Ibrahim al-Hiram was told to leave everything behind and trust in God's plan. He did not doubt. He obeyed and was rewarded beyond imagination. Prophet Moses stood in front of the Red Sea with an entire nation behind him, and instead of doubting, he trusted in God, and the sea parted. Prophet Muhammad faced endless opposition, yet he never doubted his mission. These examples teach us that faith can move mountains and make the impossible possible. But having faith does not mean we will never face doubt. Doubt is natural. It is a part of being human. The key is not to let doubt control us. When we feel uncertain, we must remind ourselves of the times when faith carried us through. Think about the moments when you thought you wouldn't succeed but did. The times you thought you wouldn't make it, yet somehow you did. Those are the moments that prove faith is always stronger than doubt. One of the biggest ways doubt enters our minds is through fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But fear is just a trick of the mind. It has no real power unless we give it power. When we choose faith over doubt, we silence the voice of fear and replace it with the voice of trust. We begin to believe that no matter how difficult things seem, there is a way forward. Sometimes faith means taking a step even when we don't know what's ahead. Imagine walking in the dark with only a small flashlight. You may not see the whole path, but as long as you take one step at a time, the way becomes clear. Life is the same. We may not see the whole picture, but if we keep trusting and moving forward, things will fall into place. One of the best ways to strengthen faith is through prayer, reflection, and gratitude. When we pray, we connect with God and remind ourselves that we are not alone. When we reflect on our past, we see how far we have come. And when we practice gratitude, we shift our focus from what is missing to what. Choosing faith over doubt does not mean life will be free of challenges, but it does mean that we will face those challenges with strength and confidence. It means that even when things are uncertain, we will hold on to hope. So, no matter what you are going through today, choose faith. Believe that better days are coming, that your struggles are temporary, and that God is guiding you. Doubt may whisper in your ear, but let faith be the voice that shouts louder. Trust the process, keep moving forward, and never let doubt win over your faith. Life is not always smooth. It is full of ups and downs, challenges, and hardships. At times, we face difficulties that seem too much to bear, and we start questioning, why me? Or why is this happening? It is in these moments that we must remember an important truth. Trials have a purpose. Every hardship, every test, and every struggle is shaping us into the person we are meant to be. No one in this world is free from trials. Whether rich or poor, young or old, everyone faces challenges in different ways. Some go through financial struggles, others face health problems, while some deal with emotional pain. But these trials are not meant to break us, they are meant to make us stronger. Just like gold is purified through fire, we too are refined through hardships. One of the biggest mistakes we make is thinking that difficulties mean punishment. In reality, trials are often blessings in disguise. They teach us patience, resilience, and wisdom. They help us grow in ways we never imagined. If life were always easy, we would never develop strength or character. Imagine a student who never faces exams. How would they ever prove their knowledge or improve their skills? In the same way, trials test our faith, our patience, and our ability to overcome obstacles. Many of the greatest people in history faced incredible trials before reaching success. Prophet Joseph, was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, but in the end, he became a ruler in Egypt. If he had not gone through those hardships, he would not have been prepared for the great responsibility that awaited him. Prophet Moses, faced rejection and fear before leading his people to freedom. Prophet Muhammad faced years of hardship, loss, and opposition before his message spread. These stories show us that trials are not the end of the road. They are part of the journey towards something greater. When we go through trials, it is easy to feel discouraged, but we must remember that every difficulty comes with a lesson. Sometimes trials teach us patience. Sometimes they teach us to trust in God's plan. Other times they remove things from our lives that were never meant for us. A failed opportunity may lead to something better. A loss may prepare us for greater blessings. We may not understand it in the moment, but with time, everything makes sense. Think of a butterfly inside a cocoon. If someone tries to break the cocoon too soon, the butterfly will never develop the strength to fly. It is the struggle inside the cocoon that strengthens its wings. Similarly, our struggles are preparing us to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Another important thing to remember is that trials bring us closer to God. When everything is going perfectly, we sometimes forget to pray, to reflect, or to seek guidance. But in difficult moments, we turn to God with sincerity, asking for help, strength, and wisdom. Trials remind us of our dependence on Him and deepen our faith. Sometimes we may not see the purpose of our trials immediately, but later in life, we look back and realize that those difficult moments were actually turning points. They led us to new opportunities, better relationships, or personal growth. What seems like a setback today may be the foundation for future success. So instead of asking, why me, start asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of seeing trials as obstacles, see them as opportunities to grow. No pain is wasted, no hardship is meaningless. There is a reason behind everything, and in time you will see that every trial was a step towards something greater. Keep faith, stay strong, and remember that trials are not there to destroy you. They are there to shape you into the person you were meant to be. Life is full of challenges, uncertainties, and moments when we feel stuck. We work hard, pray, and hope for opportunities, but sometimes nothing seems to change. In those moments, it is easy to feel discouraged and believe that no doors will open for us. However, we must remember one important truth. When the time is right, the doors will open. No situation in life is permanent. Just because things are difficult today does not mean they will always be that way. The struggles we face, the delays we experience, and the obstacles in our path are not meant to stop us forever. Sometimes doors remain closed because we are not yet ready for what is on the other side. Other times they are closed because something even better is being prepared for us. We often become impatient, wanting success, answers, and breakthroughs immediately. But life does not work that way. Just like a tree does not grow overnight, good things take time. A farmer does not plant a seed and expect a harvest the next day. First, the seed must be buried in the darkness of the soil, watered regularly, and given time to grow. Only after patience and care does it finally bear fruit. The same is true for the doors in our lives. Some take longer to open, but when they do, they lead to something greater than we imagined. Sometimes the closed doors are a blessing. We may not realize it at the moment, but if a door does not open, it might be because it was not meant for us. Perhaps it would have led us in the wrong direction, or maybe we were not ready to handle what was on the other side. When one door closes, another one always opens, one that is better suited for us. History is full of examples of people who faced closed doors before finding success. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If he had given up, the world might have remained in darkness for much longer. Walt Disney was once told he had no creativity, yet he went on to create an empire of imagination and joy. These people did not let closed doors stop them. They kept moving forward, believing that new doors would open. And they did. Faith and patience play a huge role in this journey. When we trust that God has a plan for us, we stop worrying about when things will happen. Instead of stressing over closed doors, we start preparing ourselves for the doors that will open. Maybe the delay in success is meant to make us stronger. Maybe the obstacles are teaching us important lessons. Maybe the waiting period is shaping us into better versions of ourselves. One of the best things we can do while waiting for doors to open is to keep working, keep learning, and keep believing. Success does not come to those who sit and wait. It comes to those who prepare for it. If an opportunity has not arrived yet, use the time to develop new skills, strengthen your faith, and become the person who will be ready when the right door finally opens. It is also important to recognize the doors that are already open. Sometimes we focus so much on what we do not have that we forget to appreciate what we do have. Every day brings small opportunities, chances to grow, to learn, to connect with others, and to take small steps toward our goals. No matter how many doors have been closed in your face, do not lose hope. Keep knocking, keep believing, and keep pushing forward. The right door will open at the right time, and when it does, you will look back and realize that every closed door was simply guiding you to something better. Trust the process, stay patient, and know that your breakthrough is coming. Life is a journey filled with ups and downs, victories and failures, moments of joy and times of struggle. At some point, everyone faces difficulties that make them want to quit. Whether it is in school, work, relationships, or personal goals, there will be moments when things seem impossible. But no matter how tough life gets, one rule remains true: never give up. Every successful person in the world has faced obstacles. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. Successful people do not quit. They push forward, even when everything seems against them. They believe that no matter how many times they fall, they can always stand up again. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls again and again, but never stops trying. If that child gave up after the first few falls, they would never learn to walk, run, or explore the world. The same principle applies to life. Every failure is a lesson, every struggle is an opportunity to grow, and every setback is a setup for a comeback. Many of the greatest achievements in history happened because people refused to give up. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. If he had stopped after his first few failures, the world might still be in darkness. Albert Einstein was told he would never succeed in school, but he went on to become one of the greatest minds in history. Walt Disney was once told he had no creativity, yet he built an empire of imagination and joy. These people had every reason to quit, but they kept going. Sometimes the journey towards success feels slow. It may feel like you are putting in effort but seeing no results. But success does not happen overnight. A tree does not grow the moment a seed is planted. It takes time, water, sunlight, and patience. Similarly, our dreams take time to develop. Just because you do not see results today does not mean they are not coming. One of the biggest enemies of success is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But fear is just an illusion. It only has power if we allow it to control us. The best way to overcome fear is to take action. Even if you fail, you will have gained experience and knowledge that will help you do better next time. There will be times when you feel alone in your struggles. You might think that no one understands your pain, that no one sees how hard you are trying. But remember, every great story has a difficult chapter. The heroes in every story face challenges before they win. You are the hero of your own story, and this tough time is just a part of your journey. When things get tough, take a moment to rest, but do not quit. Resting is different from giving up. It is okay to pause, to regain strength, and to remind yourself why you started in the first place. But after resting, stand up and keep moving forward. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Avoid those who bring negativity and doubt into your life. Stay focused on your goals and remind yourself daily why you are chasing them. No matter how difficult things seem right now, no matter how many times you have failed, do not give up. Your dreams, your goals, and your future are worth fighting for. Keep pushing forward, keep believing in yourself, and never stop trying. One day, you will look back and realize that all the struggles were worth it.